Hello students, in this video we are going to learn the second chapter of history class 9, the Vedic period. The Vedic period is an important topic for everyone. It is very useful sometimes in the competitive examination and for the students it is very important to have some information about the Vedic period. So let's start the first paragraph. In this paragraph, we see the Aryan first settled in India during the Vedic period. Vedic period is divided into two parts, early Vedic period and the later Vedic period. Early Vedic period is also known as early Vedic age and the later Vedic period is known as later Vedic age. Let's talk about the period, the duration of the early and later Vedic period. Early Vedic period is considered to be during 1500 BC to 1000 BC, and the later Vedic period is considered to be during 1000 BC to 500 BC. It is very important that in early Vedic period the Aryans were nomadic. Nomadic means one who moves one place to another in the search of food and living. But in the later Vedic period, when the iron was discovered in 1000 BC, the Aryans settled along the valley of the Yamuna and the Ganga. The iron tools helped them to clear the forest. So this is all about this paragraph. We can also see that the culture of the period is referred to as the Vedic culture. Why it is called the Vedic culture? Because it was based on the Vedic text. So let's move to the next paragraph, literary sources. How do we come to know about the Vedic period? We have many information about the Vedic period due to the literary sources. One by one we will learn the literary sources. The Vedic text may be divided into the two broad chronological groups. Chronological means arranged in order. The early Vedic text 1500 to 1000 BC, and the most of the hymns of the Rig Veda were composed. You all are supposed to remember that the Rig Veda was composed in early Vedic period and it is an important literature. And the later Vedic text to which belong the remaining Vedas and their branches, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads. So in short we will know that in early Vedic period Rig Veda was composed and the rest of the Vedas were composed in the later Vedic period. The two periods correspond to the two phase of Aryan expansion in India. Means how much Aryan expanded in India. In these two periods we will come to know, or we get the information. The social, economic, political and religious aspects of the life of the people came to be reflected in Vedic literature. In Vedic literature, we come to know about the economic, political and religious aspects of the life of the people. Thus, Vedas became the storehouse of the knowledge. Learning about the social, economical, political and religious aspect, we will get several kind of ideas and different kind of knowledge. So it is known as the storehouse of the knowledge. The Vedic literature was written in Sanskrit. This is very important to remember that in which language the Vedic in which language the Vedic literature was written. So it is in Sanskrit language. The term Veda means the term Veda has been derived from the Sanskrit word Vid, which means knowledge. Means Vedas are considered to be the full of knowledge. Vedic literature is divided into two parts, namely Shruti and Smriti. Shruti, that is very clear that by hearing what we learn, we call it Shruti. Shruti and Smriti means by religious text learning, that is Smriti. It is believed that the Shruti was revealed to the sages by God. God has given the messages to the sages in Shruti, and they passed on the knowledge orally from generation to generation. On the other hand, Smriti literature was composed by rishis, means Smriti is composed and Shruti is revealed by God. The Vedic literature can be classified into following categories. There are four categories. In the first category, we find four Vedas, that are Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda, and their Samahitas. Uh, Samahitas are the collection of the hymns. The Brahmanas attached to each Samahita. Samahita means collection, as I have told you. The Aranyakas, the third one, and the fourth one, the Upanishads. We will learn, or we will explain one by one, or we will learn one by one all the points. First, I'm going to just tell you the Rig Veda. It is the oldest religious text in the world and is therefore known as the first testament of the mankind. Means it is the oldest religious text. It is divided into 10 mandalas. Okay, 10 groups are there. It is said to have been composed during the early Vedic period. As I have already told you, that Rig Veda was composed in the early Vedic period, and rest of the Vedas were composed in the later Vedic period. The hymns are dedicated to the sages. Sages means the wise men to gods. They were passed on orally from teachers to their disciples. The teachers conveyed the message, or transferred the hymns to their disciples, means the students. In this picture we can see that sages performing yajnas, and it is a religious ritual. Rigvedic hymns are the authentic sources of knowledge of the life of the people of the time. So it is authentic source, means the real source of knowledge. Much of the Indian philosophy is based on the Rig Veda. Means the Indian philosophy depends upon the Rig Veda, many of the philosophies. It also contains the famous Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra, we all know, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsuviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. First four lines I have told you, which comes from Gayatri Mantra. Although religious in nature, the Vedas are valuable source of information on various subjects. If we talk about various subjects such as medicine and some kind of karma, action, or jnana, the Vedas give us information in different ways or in different topics. The Sama Veda, second one. We were learning the Rig Veda. The second one is the Sama Veda. The term Sama means sweet song. Sama means sweet song. It is to remember the melody is or the melody. In this Veda, some of the hymns are borrowed from the Rig Veda. Sama Veda also collects some of the hymns from the Rig Veda. These hymns were meant to be sung at the time of the sacrifice by the priest. So when the hymns were sung, when the priests were doing the sacrifice, at the time of the sacrifice, the priest sung these hymns. The Yajurveda, it deals with the hymns recited during the performance of yajnas. So you can see the sages performing yajnas, means the rituals, the religious rituals, and their hymns in this Veda throw light on the social and the religious life of the Aryans. The social and the religious life we can understand going through the Yajurveda. Atharva Veda, the hymns contained in this Veda deal with the magic and charm. Charm means to attract somebody. Most of the hymns are taken from the Rig Veda. Here also, like Samaveda, most of the hymns from the Rig Veda are taken in the Atharva Veda. Besides the powers of spirits, the hymns deal with Gyan means knowledge, Karma means action, and the Upasana means invocation. Invocation means action of invoking, means appealing. Some hymns also deal with medicines for treatment of various diseases. So, students, the Atharva Veda is also very helpful for the treatment of various diseases. It gives many information about the medicines. I'm going to tell you something about what we have learned. We will revise very quickly. As you can see this page, the Vedic period divided into two parts, later Vedic period and early Vedic period. The duration 1500 to 1000 BC, and 1000 to 500 BC is the period of later Vedic period. Rig Veda or the remaining and the remaining Veda, all four Vedas are written in Sanskrit language. Vedic literature has four parts, four Vedas. Brahmanas attached each Samahita means collection, the Aranyakas and Upanishads. Before that, we will talk about Shruti and Smriti. Shruti, revealed by God. It is a message to the message given by the God, and Smriti is composed by the rishis. The four Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharva Veda. Rig Veda, oldest religious text. Gayatri Mantra we find. I have told you 4 lines of Gayatri Mantra in this video. Samaveda, Sama means sweet song, sung at the time of sacrifice. Some hymns related to Rig Veda, means some hymns are taken from the Rig Veda to this Samaveda. Yajurveda hymns recited during yajnas throw light on the social and the religious life of the Aryans. The Atharva Veda deals with magic and charms, medicines. So, this is a small revision what we have learnt in this video. Now we will go to the question answer. The students are very interested in knowing the question answer. So in this video I am giving also 2 answers. The first one, why was the early Vedic literature known as Shruti? You can see the answer. The early Vedic literature was known as Shruti because it was conveyed by the God to the great sages by hearing. Number 2, name the 4 Vedas and state what the hymns in each Veda deal with. The 4 Vedas are Rig Veda, the Samaveda, the Yajurveda and the Atharva Veda. The Rig Veda, the oldest religious text with 1028 hymns, are dedicated to the gods. It has Gayatri Mantra. Number B, the Samaveda contains 1875 hymns were sung at the time of the sacrifice by the priests. And number C, the Yajurveda deals with rituals or the hymns recited during the performance of yajna. Number D, the Atharva Veda deals with magic, charm, ghost, spirits, gyan and karma. So students, you have got 2 answers. You may write it on your notebook. I will tell you some more answers and I will deal some more points in the coming videos. Hope you have heard or listened to this video very carefully. Thank you for listening.